Hey guys and gals, I want you to take a look at this right here. 627.5 miles. Let's talk about that. Ubiest of the tubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you. And I'm 50 plus. And today we're going to talk a little bit about a load just came up on my Qualcomm there. And it's on my phone, I can see it. But anyways, that's a good example of what I'm about to talk to you guys about. That 627 miles, that's a typical day for me. Okay, see now what's going on.
Has arrived.
Okay, that's a typical run for me. It's a typical day. And when a student gets on my truck, they're going to run 500 miles a day until we start going solo. And running 500 miles a day isn't hard. You just have to run, okay? And I'm going to do it, and my student's going to do it. And in fact, the student that just got off my truck has been running 600 miles every day since he got off my truck. And he hasn't been without a load. It's only been a few days, but he hadn't been without a load. He's not going to be without a load. And I just sent a message saying tomorrow I'm going to drop my load at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I need a load. And I just sent it. I mean, you guys can't know how long ago I sent that, but I just sent it. And my Qualcomm just went off. You just heard it with a load. So I don't sit. Why I don't sit? It's because I run. And I'm tell you, the planners, they know who runs and who sits on their ass. Who you think is going to get the work. So if you're sitting, you might want to ask yourself, maybe something's wrong with the way I handle my business. And I'm sure you're going to find something odd there. Maybe you don't see anything odd because that's the way you think it should be. Maybe you think you should be in a bunk for, I don't know, 16, 17 hours and then get up and run for 8. If that's what you want to do, hey man, that's not my business. I don't tell you how to run how to roll that truck. But, when I get messages from people saying that they're getting crappy loads and crappy miles and, they sit a lot and all that, I don't. And I have to question it. It's not like any transportation company want the trucks that they're paying money for to just sit, at a truck stop somewhere. So it's not the company. That definitely isn't the issue. So let's talk a little bit about how I'm going to run a truck that it's governed at 65 miles an hour, and I got a 11-hour clock, and I got to run, and I'm going to run 600 plus miles every day. And it's not hard. But first, I'm going to let you guys take a look at the clock. But before I do that, I want to explain something to you. My student and I went into the driver development so that he could do his upgrade. And the lady at the driver development said that she used to be a planner, and that if she had a load to disperse, she would look at the trucks that are in that area to find a truck that she wanted to put that load on, and she would look at the ratings of those drivers and decide, well, this person's basically sits on their ass and this person will run, and they give it to the person that run. Now, this is talking to someone who planned. So it's not coming just from me and what I'm thinking that happens. The system I'm about to show you, it keeps up with, and if you've ever done logs, paper logs, you know there's a column on the end where you add up each lane, and I'm going to show you that on the Qualcomm in case you hadn't. Well, if you consider those as percentages, and over time percentages, you can average percentage, and you can determine on average how much time out of a 70-hour clock a driver spends off duty or in the sleeper. You can also tell in the same whim how much time they spend driving, not just on duty, but driving. And if the sleeper time is, 60%, that's not somebody that's going to be making any money. So I'm going to show you how they can figure that out. Hold on, let's take a look at that. By the way, you see that right there, 30 minutes. That's all I have remaining of drive time today. So I drove all my clock out with the exception of that 30 minutes. Okay, so let's go to okay, here's one view of your paper logs. Looks the end of it, okay, the last column. This is an easy way to do it. Okay, and this is how much time the first three, 8, 11, and 14, those are your daily clocks, okay? You have 8 hours to run before you have to take a rest break for 30 minutes, okay? You have a total of 11 hours in a work day to perform work, okay, to be actually on duty, whether it be driving or just on duty at a shipper for like pick up a delivery or something like that, okay. You actually have in a given day 14 hours to perform 11 hours worth of work. So you see there's a 3-hour gap right there, and that 3 hours is time you can spend off duty. And when you go off duty, the 11-hour clock will stop, the 8-hour clock will stop. The 14-hour doesn't stop. Once you get on duty for the first time in that day, the 14-hour clock is not going to stop running, okay? So after you run 8 hours and you take a 30-minute break, whatever you have remaining of the 11, you can then finish driving that out, okay? So that's a little bit of how that works. So let's go here to the graph. This is how it looks on like a paper log, okay? And then on the end, you basically see the results of the day, okay? So off-duty time today, out of that 3 hours, right? You have 3 extra hours. I only used 1 hour and 52 minutes of it, you see? Okay, and then in the sleeper, I spent, now this is deceptive because I didn't go to sleep at midnight, and this thing starts like last night, right at midnight, okay, because that's just today. So, but that tells you how much time, 4.4 hours, that's how much time of today I spent in the sleeper. But you can also see where I got out of the sleeper at was about like 3:45ish or so this morning. I went on duty, did a little pre-trip, and then started driving. Okay, and then I went off duty right here. I went off duty for like about, it looks like maybe 10 minutes, and I was probably went to the restroom or something, stopping TP. But anyways, then more driving, you see how many consecutive hours I drove without stopping. And then on duty again. This on duty here, right there, that on duty was fueling, okay? And then I went off duty to take my 30 break, and then I moved, and then I went across the street to, I was in, oh man, oh crap, I'll tell you in a minute, but there's a steakhouse there that was pretty cool. So I went to the steakhouse and ate that. So right there is where I actually ate lunch. I took a 30-minute break, but then I went over and ate lunch. Okay, so that's part of my off duty. See that? And then I went back to driving again. Okay, I drove all those hours, and then you see another off on duty, and then I drove a little bit more, and then I went on duty. This on duty right here, by the way, that on duty, actually, I pulled over because I needed to read a planner message, and you can't read messages and drive at the same time. The Qualcomm won't let you do it anyways. So I had to pull over, get off the highway, pull over to like a little rest area, and read that message. See how much time I spent? I mean, that ain't even 5 minutes. That little spike at the bottom, that's not even 5 minutes. That little spike right there. Because I don't play around, man. Do what you gotta do and then get going. Start driving. Okay? Then on duty for a little bit of post-trip, and then now that highlighted is me back in the sleeper for the rest of the day. Okay? But if you look at that, you see how much of that is driving. It's quite a bit. Okay? But those numbers right there, I spent 10 hours and 30 minutes driving, and then 4 hours and 7 minutes was this morning in the sleeper. Okay, so if you take the sleeper out of the mix, which really doesn't matter, only on duty time is only about an hour, and then off was only roughly 2 hours. But I spent 10 hours and 30 minutes driving. Okay, so let's take a look at yesterday. I drove 507 miles, and that was picking up the load. Okay, and I had some trailer shit. There's crap. I'm sorry, but anyway, I had some trailer stuff to do, so that took a little bit of my day. So I couldn't really run it like I wanted to. But the next day is under a load. Okay, those 3 days right there that says 0, that was when I was in Houston at home. Okay, that's how that goes. All right, now. Okay, I'm showing you all that to kind of explain to you how the information is actually being gathered on your driving habits, your sleeping habits, how much time you spend on duty, how much time you spend off duty in the day. I mean, it's all calculated. Okay, so of course no one sits around and you know, do every driver's percentage. They don't have to do that because the software does that for them. So when a planner has a load, and that load is going from, of course, from its origin to the destination, it is where the origin is and which trucks are in that area. Those percentages are already in there. It's already a grade in there for you. So when the planner puts that in there and it says, okay, the trucks are around that area, which truck am I going to give it to? The computer is going to say which truck is more likely to get that truck, that load to its destination on time. And if your grade is goddamn F, why you think you sit? Maybe you should look on your Qualcomm and see if the amount of time that you spend off duty or in the sleeper is far greater than it should be, or the amount of time you spend driving. Now, can you be successful driving and not run as hard as I run? I don't know, shit. Maybe. I don't want to test that theory. That'd be up to you. Okay. But if you're not at home, you may as well be working. If you're going to be working, then work. Okay. Bottom line, I'm not bitching anybody out. I'm just trying to explain to you guys. I don't care which company you work for. You're all in the ELDs, and the company can easily track your habits. They know what you're doing, they know where you're going, they know how you work. And the loads that you are getting may be based off of, the fact that you're not, productive enough. So, that being said, when a student get on my truck, I'm expecting 500 miles. 500 miles is on your first day is possible, and it's going to happen, and it might take you 10 and a half hours. It took me 10 and a half hours, 627 miles, whatever the hell it was. It might take you the same 10 and a half hours to run 500, because we may have to stop, and let you catch breath and stretch out a little bit and, get a second wind and go. And that's fine, because it may take you a few days to build up a little drive tolerance, but you can do it. And all of you listening to me rant right now, you all can do it. Note, even while you're on your mentor's truck, your driving habits are being recorded. And when you go solo, you already got a trend. So even on a mentor's truck, that trend is already being formed. You understand? I really don't like to discuss it because it's, insignificant to me, but I'm gonna use it as an example. I had another student before my second student. That student complained in a video that I made them drive 500 miles first day. And same person made a previous video patting themselves on the back for driving 600. You're welcome, by the way. I don't, take credit for everything. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, it's a bunch of bullshit. I'm not asking too much for you to do that. What I'm trying to do is help you create habits of success. Okay, and each and every one of you can do it. Each and every one of you can come out here and be successful. You can do it. You can do it. You can back, man. My truck start talking about backing it's hard and all that kind of, man, we fixing to have a problem. Because it's not hard. You got to get that out your head. Okay, you drive forward, you drive back, man. I mean, you're going to drive forward for 600 miles when you can't roll back for 200 yards. That ain't 200 yards, maybe 20 yards. You can do it, man. It's simple. You can do it. Okay. Eventually, you're gonna learn how to maneuver the trailer. You're looking out the window. You're getting out. You're watching the trailer. You're not watching the truck. You're watching the trailer, and you make the trailer go in the hole, and the truck will follow. Same thing. You driving forward. You make the tractor go straight, and the trailer will follow. Same thing. So don't let backing get all in your head. Don't let anybody tell you that it's difficult, because it's not. But forming good habits, once you get out here, driving habits, it's gonna make you break it. It can make you a lot of money, or you can run you out of here. And you guys can do it. It's easy. But I wanted to show you on the Qualcomm what it looks like, because I want you to know that this is digital information, and it's being recorded, and it's being calculated, and you're basically being ranked on whether or not you're going to be able to be successful. So if your ranking is low, that might be the reason why you get short runs. Okay, they'll give you short runs because more likely than not, you'll be able to get that short run there. But they're not sure if they give you a 1,500, 2,000 mile run that you actually going to be able to get it there, because you've shown them that you have the tendency to, not run. Basically, I don't know what you're doing that's causing your issue. some people I wish that I could ride with them for a week, and the first day I don't know what's going on, but I may say, and I do kind of push things along a little bit. Don't ever be rushed, by the way. I don't rush anybody. I don't rush anything, because rushing creates problems. However, if you have a habit of moving slow, that's wasting time. And I'm gonna tell you, get your goddamn ass in gear. Let's go. Okay. If you are a slow mover in the mornings, you're not a morning person. That's fine. That's fine. You rolling with me in 10 hours and 1 minute. You're gonna push that on duty for pre-trip. So if that means that since you slow in the mornings, that you have to set your alarm clock to wake you up in 8 hours, so that you can have 2 hours before your 10 is up, then that's what you have to do. But you can't lay in the bunk until 9:30 and then think that you're fixing to go spend 45 minutes in the restroom getting coffee, getting donuts at the truck stop or something. No, we're already behind. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm telling you, come on, let's go. You don't have to be rushed. You just have to be on schedule, okay? And if you're on schedule, then you're not rushing, are you? Because you're on schedule. What's that a rush? You're on schedule, but when you're not disciplined enough to get yourself in gear, then there's going to be some things that you're going to have to fix if you're going to come out here and be successful. Bottom line. Okay? So, again, I ain't bitching at nobody. I'm just trying to tell you that there's reasons why, if you're not successful, if you're sitting with no loads, there's a reason for that. Maybe you should have a talk with your driver leader, and if they're honest with you and tell you, hey, well, look, you need to, this is what we see. If they're honest with you, they're going to tell you that. They may not want to hurt your feelings, so they might not. So I'm telling you right now, if you look at your graph and you got a bunch of sleeping time, that ought to be telling you something. It ought to be telling you something. My load is due tomorrow. The window is 6 a.m. This is another point. The window is 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm going to be there at 5:45 so I can make that 6 o'clock appointment a.m. So, and I'm already par for the day. If you're the person that drag ass and use all that time up and then deliver at 2, that's your problem. That's your problem. So if I'm you, I'm thinking about fixing that. Okay? If you're out here to work hard, make that money. Eventually you're gonna run out of hours. Your 70 clock is gonna run out and you're gonna get a 34, and that's when you go enjoy yourself, do everything you want to do. It's like your weekend. Run hard during the week so you have a weekend. Some people run like 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, and then they bank the rest of those hours, and at the end of the period of time, all those hours will come back to them, and they'll end up with running on recaps, and this keeps happening over and over and over and over and over, and that's cool. That's not a day off. You just keep running until you get home time, and that's all right. That's all right. If it works for you, roll with it. Roll with it. I prefer to run hard and actually have full days to myself. And you can do however you want to do it. All I can tell you is to do it. Stop, screwing off and wasting your time. This job is time sensitive, big time. That clock is not your friend. You trust me. You trying to get somewhere, and that clock is telling you better hurry up. If not, I'm gonna shut you down. That's what it does. This clock will shut you down. Shut you down in the middle of nowhere. You got no drive hours, and that's not good. You ain't principal. That happens, but that's not the reason why you run. You run because you want that paycheck on Friday. Okay. So if I wasn't clear on the ELDs, I'll do another video on that. The main reason why I show you that is because I want you to see how they can easily track your work habits and know that they're watching you, and maybe that's a part of the problem with, I know that's the problem, with you not being able to get loads and stay moving. Okay, so anything that I can clarify, just ask me down the bottom and I'll let you know. Okay. Lastly, if you just finished school, average wait time for mentors is about a week. You know, sometimes a little longer than that. When you're getting out of school, you can put yourself on the wait list for a mentor, and then go take your home time. And by the time your home time's up, I have a mentor for you. Hopefully, you'll be ready to roll. As far as mentors is concerned, there are far more available students than there are mentors available to take the students. So if you smoke, then that takes you out of the mix for a mentor who does not smoke. You couldn't ride with me because I don't smoke. Okay, so that means that automatically you got one down. Okay, if you want reefer, then now you got to be for a reefer mentor. You don't have to. You can do a dry van mentor and then take a little, reefer, quick lesson or something. But if you want a reefer mentor, okay, well, now that takes several drivers out of the mix. And if you want a reefer that smokes, now that's even fewer. You find out what I'm saying? The more criteria you have for a mentor, the longer you're going to wait for a mentor. Okay. If you're a female and you want a female mentor, there's far fewer female mentors there are male mentors, which means your wait time is going to be longer. So you just have to be patient and wait for it to happen. A lot of guys won't take female students, and I'm about to push that button myself, but I'm really trying to not, but experience was not a positive one, and I don't know, but I do understand why a lot of males won't take female mentors. Take female students, and I'm pretty sure it works the other way too. A lot of female mentors won't take male students. I'm fairly certain that that's the case in a lot of cases. Okay, so it's just personal preference and things that they've experienced in the past. I talked to a female mentor in Salt Lake the other day, and she dropped off her last student. She said, "I'm not taking no more students. I'm done." I said, "Well, what's up?" I'm done. I don't want no more students. I can't deal with it anymore. I'm not. So that's a female mentor that's out of the mix. One more gone. She's the owner operator. She took the passenger seat out of her car, put a refrigerator right there, unbolted it from the ground, from the floor, and there's no seat there. It's her truck. She can do what she wants with it. So this is not a Swift issue, okay? By the way, the mentor thing, it's not a Swift issue. This is industry-wide issue. There's just not enough mentors to do it. Not enough people want to invite a student on their truck and have a bad experience. It ain't always the student's problem either. It could be the mentor is just a bad person. They just don't get along with people, or they don't adjust well, or they don't want to adjust. And I get it. But if you want to do this, then there's got to be some even ground to be found somewhere. So if you're considering being a mentor, man, there's a lot of students out there that really would need your help. So come on out here and be a mentor, man. Give it a shot. Anyways, guys, come out here and run hard. Come make some of this money. It's a lot of it to be made. Okay, and you're going with a giant. You're going with Swift Transportation. They got the freight. Don't let nobody tell you don't. I'm telling you, I ain't stopped rolling. You know, so all you gotta do is develop the habits I just talked about, and you're gonna be just fine. Okay. Any questions? Put them down at the bottom. I'll get back with you. Okay, not a problem. Deliver undistracted. Here's your boop. Hey everybody, 50 Plus here. What do I do when my recruiter won't return my calls? They're lying to me. They don't have answers to the questions I'm asking. Problem is, once I get those questions, it's already too late. Industry standard. Once a recruiter has got you, they got you. You belong to them. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you my recruiter's information. Her name is Autumn, and if you're thinking about joining Swift, that's who I want you to contact. Give her a call. She's going to send you through the process. Eventually, you're going to wind up on a mentor's truck. When you get in that truck, you're going to be in that truck for $200. For $200, I want your phone in the bunk. If you're willing to do that, I'm going to send you a Blue Pirate headset. You need to let Autumn know 50 Plus sent you.